say about genetic engineering in agriculture. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the population of the United States in 1950 was 151,868,000, and in 2007, the population had increased to 301,579,895. So, since the world population grows larger each year, we need to ensure that our crops will continue to harvest successfully. My claim is that genetic engineering in agriculture is beneficial to crop production. Genetic engineering is done by inserting desired traits into crops, either from one plant to another or from another type of organism, such as bacteria. And this is important to all of you because most of the foods you eat contain corn in the form of high fructose corn syrup. So without successful crop production, you would not be able to enjoy as many foods such as cereal, soda, candy, bread, or many other products that contain this corn-based ingredient. Therefore, from genetic engineering, the traits needing alteration include, number 1, pest resistance to prevent loss of crops. Number 2, weed killer tolerance, so that the herbicide, which is weed killer, does not harm the plant. And number 3, drought tolerance crops to allow the productivity with less use of water. For all these reasons, genetic engineering in agriculture is beneficial to crop production. My first supporting point is that genetic engineering will make the crop pest resistant. Insects are a major problem for crop production. According to GMO Compact, which is an organization that deals about genetically modified organisms, stated that insects destroy 25% of food crops worldwide. From genetic engineering in nature, bacterium, there's this bacterium that they found called BT, and it's inserted into the corn, and now the corn has its own pesticide against insects, so the crop is now able to thrive longer. From this bacterium is only harmful to the insects and not humans or other mammals, so you don't have to be afraid of that. And this pesticide resistance leads to more quality and quantity of crops. Along with pest resistance, crops can now protect against weed killer. My second supporting point is that genetic engineering will make crop herbicide tolerant. Herbicide is the name for weed killer, and farmers spray large amounts of herbicides on crops to destroy weeds that take over their crops. According to Deborah Whitman, who has her BS in biology and her MS in biotechnology, farmers often spray large amounts of weed killer on the crops to destroy the weeds, but genetic engineering allows the farmers to use less harmful herbicides. Also, the crops are genetically engineered to be resistant to weed killer. The crops benefit because less sprays are needed and more crops are less unharmful. Also, a company known as Monsanto made soybeans that are not affected by the weed killer Roundup. And this means that these soybeans only need one application of weed killer, and it'll use less harmful chemicals on the crops. This weed killer resistance allows crops to be less contaminated by harsh chemicals, leading to more nutritious crops. My third supporting point is that genetic engineering will make crops drought tolerant. Obviously, water is essential to plant life, and according to the African Center of Biosafety, 4/10 of the world's agricultural land is in regions where drought causes death to crops. And researchers have found a hormone in the plant that causes it to be very sensitive to drought. They found that if you suppress the hormone in the plant, they can control the water loss. And from this drought tolerance in the plant, it allows the plant to be able to live much longer in drier regions. All in all, genetic engineering is beneficial to crop production through pest resistance, weed killer tolerance, and drought tolerance. As the world population continues to grow, genetic engineering in agriculture is a way to increase crop productivity. Since genetic engineering in agriculture has been introduced, the production of crops has increased. For example, the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, listed on corn, the corn production in 1940 at 2.3 billion bushels of corn, and in 2009 it has greatly increased to 12.1 billion bushels of corn. Therefore, genetic engineering in agriculture is beneficial to crop production.
All right, you do have a clear statement of the proposition. It's a bit broad. The secondary issues, at first it sounds like there's some criteria that you're giving us. Then it turns out that they are, in fact, your secondary claims. So it was a little confusing at first. However, once you started signposting them, then it was clear that that's what you were talking about. Most of your supporting points are example evidence of individual things that do the things on each of those criteria. And what you need is a little bit more data about how that has improved productivity, made it more widely available. Right at the end, you have some information about the total number of bushels that have been produced at one point compared to now, and you seem to attribute the increase in the amount of productivity to genetic engineering, and I think we need to see that that connection is a legitimate one. Based on the examples that you have, it's possible that it is, but I'm not sure that you've got the statistical data or any testimony that connects the examples to that statistic that you have at the end. You do tend to read quite a bit, and so your level of engagement's down, although your vocal delivery I thought was relatively effective. Thank you.